Srimad Bhagavatam Grantaraj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Janmadasya Yata Nivayad Itaratas Charti Vigya Swarat.
Janmadasya Yato Nivayat Prasvachatreshu Avinaswarat.
Tene Brahma Hridaya Adhikavaye Muyanti Yat Surayaha.
Tene Brahma Hridaya Adhikavaye Muyanti Yat Suraya.
Tejo Varimadam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Misha.
Tejo Varimida Jata Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Misha.
Damna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dimahi.
Damna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dimahi.
O my Lord Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva.
O my Lord Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva.
O all-pervading personality of Godhead.
O all-pervading personality of Godhead.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth.
I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute
and
truth.
The primeval cause of all causes.
The primeval cause of all causes.
Of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes.
The creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes.
He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations.
He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations.
And he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him.
And he is independent because no other cause beyond him.
It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji.
It is he only who first imparted Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji.
The original living being.
The original living being.
By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion.
By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion.
As one is bewildered by the illusory representations.
As one is bewildered by the illusory representations.
Of water seen on fire or land seen on water.
Of water seen on fire, land seen on water.
Only because of him do the material universes.
Only because of him do the material universes.
Temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes.
Temporarily manifested by the reaction of the three modes.
Appear factual, although they are unreal.
Appear factual, although they are unreal.
I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna.
I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna.
Who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode.
Who is eternally existent in transcendental
which is
abode.
forever free from the illusory representations of the material world.
Which is forever free from the illusory representation of the material
I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth.
I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth.
Dharma projita kaitravatra.
Dharma projita kaitravatra.
Paramo nirmatsaranam satam.
Paramo nirmatsaranam satam.
Vedyam vastavam atra vastu.
Vedyam vastavam atra vastu.
Shivedam tapa trayon mulanam.
Shivedam tapa trayon mulanam.
Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite.
Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite.
Kim va pare Ishvaraha.
Kim va pare Ishvaraha.
Sadyo hidi aburudite tra.
Sadyo rudya titra.
Kriti bihi sususabis takshanat. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated.
Completely reject the religious activities by material motivated.
This Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth.
This Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth.
Which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart.
Understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart.
The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all.
The reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all.
Such truth uproots the threefold miseries.
Such truth uproots the threefold miseries.
This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity,
this beautiful Bhagavatam compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity,
is sufficient in itself for God realization.
It is sufficient in itself for God realization.
What is the need of any other scripture?
What is the need of the other scripture?
As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam,
as one is attentively submissively hear the message from Bhagavatam,
by this culture of knowledge,
by this culture of knowledge,
the Supreme Lord is established within his heart.
The Supreme Lord is established within his heart.
Nigama kalpatarur galitam phalam.
Nigama kalpatarur galitam phalam.
Sukamukad amrita dravya samyutam.
Sukamukad amrita dravya sangitam.
Pibata bhagavatam rasam alayam.
Pibata bhagavatam rasam alayam.
Muhur ahoraska bhuvi bhavakaha.
Muhur ahoraska bhuvi.
O expert and thoughtful man, relish Srimad Bhagavatam. The mature fruit of the desired true Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful. Although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all.
already reachable for all,
including liberated souls.
including liberated souls.
Shinvatam Swakrita Krishna
Sampatam Sakata Krishna,
Punya Shravana Kirtana
Punya Shravanam Kirtana,
Hridyantaksto Bhadrani
Radiansto Abhatani,
Vidunati Suhitsatam.
Vidunati Suripsatam.
To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures,
To hear about Krishna from the Vedic literature,
or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita,
or to hear from me directly from Srimad Bhagavatam,
is itself righteous activity.
it is self-righteous activity.
And for one who hears about Krishna,
And for one who hears about Krishna,
Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart,
Lord Krishna is dwelling in everyone's heart,
acts as a best wishing friend
acts as the best well-wishing friend,
and purifies a devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him.
a purified devotee who is constantly engaged in hearing of him.
In this way,
In this way,
a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge.
a devotee naturally develops this dormant
Transcendental knowledge.
transcendental.
As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam
As he hears more about Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam,
and from the devotees,
devotee
he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord.
is become fixed.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, verse 24. Agni-nirshto tatascha
Agni nishto tatascha
garodarascha dushita
garodarascha dushita
hitam shetram danam yesham
tam kitram danam yesham
tadatar asubi kriyat
tatadare anusubhishkiyat.
kiyat. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There is no need to live a degraded life and subsist on the charity of those whom you tried to kill by arson and poisoning. You also insulted one of their wives and usurped their kingdom and wealth. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The system of Varnashrama religion sets aside a part of one's life completely for the purpose of self-realization and attainment of salvation in a human form of life. That is a routine division of life. But persons like Dhritarashtra, even at their weary, ripened age, wanted to stay home, even in a degraded condition of accepting charity from enemies. Vidura wanted to point this out and impressed upon him that it was better to die like his sons than to accept such humiliating charity. 5,000 years ago, there was one Dhritarashtra, but at the present moment, there are Dhritarashtras in every home. Politicians especially do not retire from political activities unless they are dragged by the cruel hand of death or killed by some opposing element. To stick to family life to the end of one's human life is the grossest type of degradation, and there is absolute need for Viduras to educate such Dhritarashtras, even at the present moment. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, the Vidura is not mincing his words. He's speaking with a very sharp, razor-like tongue that is castigating Dhritarashtra mercifully. In other words, the supreme truth should be spoken in a pleasant way, but when someone has flaunted and ignored the supreme truth for almost all their life, and now at the end of their life they're still attached to home and hearth, to society, friendship, and so-called love, and taking charity from people who Dhritarashtra treated as an enemy. He lived in such a way, he managed in such a way that he wanted to kill the Pandavas by giving them a palace made of lac and setting it on fire so that they died, and poisoning Bhima, and insulting their wife, Draupadi, and trying to strip her in public in front of great personalities like Bhisma Pitamaha and Dronacharya and so forth, and stealing or usurping their kingdom and their wealth and forcing them into exile. So here's a person who tried to kill the Pandavas, although they were depending on him for protection and so forth. And then this great war took place, and the Pandavas killed all his sons. Dhritarashtra had 100 sons with Gandhari. And still he's accepting their hospitality, and they're treating him respectfully as if he's the king. So this is degraded life. This is biting the hand that feeds you, in a sense, because he was given the kingdom when his brother died in Pandu, so that he could protect the Pandavas and protect Kunti Devi, and all he did was try and kill them and get rid of them. So, and after all that, to accept their hospitality and their respect and their food, etc., and comfort, living in the palace. So Vidura is using very sharp, hard-cutting words to help him understand that he's living in a disgraceful, abominable way, and there's no justification for it, especially at his advanced age where he could die at any time. So we have to follow the system of Varnashram Dharma, Daiva Varnashram, where 25 years of one's life should be dedicated to celibacy and education, spiritual education, to become a perfect character and devotee. Materialists want to build wealth, devotees want to build character. It's a big difference. And then Prabhupada talks about this he says in 10th chapter, in one of the nutshell verses, he explains something that is difficult for people to understand, but the truth. And he says, due to the contamination of material association, through many, many millions of births, one's heart is always covered with the dust of materialism. But when one engages in devotional service and constantly chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, the dust quickly clears, and one is elevated to the platform of pure knowledge. The ultimate goal, Vishnu, can be attained only by this chant and by devotional service, meaning chanting Hare Krishna and by devotional service, and not by mental speculation or argument. The pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. Let's repeat that. The pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. he need material necessities of life.
Material necessities of life.
He need not be anxious, because when he removes the darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee. Now, who believes this? Raise your hand, or don't raise your hand. Do you believe this, Prabhu? You do? You didn't raise your hand, though. Ah. You're going to practice this when you go to India? You're going to look for a job, or you're going to look for preaching opportunities? Both. Then you only half understand. The pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. He need not be anxious, because when he removes the darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee. So what is the darkness of the heart? It's attachment to sense gratification. What do we mean by sense gratification? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. What is the essence? That pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. He need not be anxious, because when he removes the darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. By studying Bhagavad Gita, one can become a soul completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord and engage himself in pure devotional service. That's the purpose of studying Bhagavad Gita. To become a soul completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord and engage himself in pure devotional service. As the Lord takes charge, one becomes completely free from all kinds of materialistic endeavors. Hari Bol. So, if we just understand this one thing today, we will understand the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. But as Paramananda has revealed to us, he only half understands. The other half is a dangerous, tumultuous trajectory that leads to nowhere. But you have to learn the hard way. So, before there was only one Dhritarashtra, now there are multitudes of Dhritarashtras. What is he saying here? That people are attached to the family, to society, to the puppy love, so-called love. I love you, people say all the time. But is there really love? Actually, it's not real love. And because of that, they want to stay in the comfort zone of their house, their bed. Oftentimes I'm asked to do Griha Pravesh, blessing of a new house. Many people buy new houses. So when we go to the house, one thing we do is go through all the rooms and sprinkle Ganges water and chant Hare Krishna, and blow the conch shell to get rid of all the ghosts and so forth. And we go downstairs first, the kitchen, the garage, the yard, the living room, the dining room, and so forth. And then we go upstairs, and what do we see? It's the throne of sense gratification, the bedroom of the husband and wife, and there's a big bed, and there's a big screen, television screen, right? And so they have their own private bathroom with shower and hot tub, or a bathtub with special bubbling water and so forth, and a big closet, walk-in closet. But the size of the bed is the most remarkable thing. There's not two beds. There's one big bed. And usually it's one of those expensive beds where you can adjust the two sides of the bed, so the wife can make it real soft, the husband can make it harder, blah, blah, blah. And actually, it's an embarrassment. One should not sleep in the same bed. Husband and wife should not sleep in the same bed, nor should they even sleep in the same bedroom. This is traditional way of life in traditional families. There was always a section in the house for the men and a section in the house for the women. So, this is the American way of life, and because of that, people stay attached to the sense gratification, regulated or non-regulated sense gratification that they have in the home. This is symptomatic of Dhritarashtra. He's attached to sense gratification. He's attached to position. Just like Gandhi. Gandhi was sent a letter by Srila Prabhupada, a wonderful letter, in which he asked him to give up all politics. He had achieved his goal. He got rid of the British. Now he should take up Krishna consciousness and join with Prabhupada, and they could go together and preach Bhagavad Gita all over the world. Did Gandhi listen? No, he didn't listen. And what happened shortly after that? He was assassinated. See? So, therefore, Prabhupada says that to stick to family life to the end of one's human life is the grossest type of degradation, and there is an absolute need for the Viduras to educate such Dhritarashtras even at the present moment. So, this is a routine division of life, but persons like Dhritarashtra, even at their weary, ripened age, want to stay home even in a degraded condition of accepting charity from enemies. So, what should we learn from this? We should learn that there are 4 stages of life. There's brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. So, Srila Prabhupada went through all 4. So, and look what he was able to do. Spread Krishna consciousness all over the world and establish and inspire many devotees and establish many temples and write and print many wonderful books, just like we're reading this Bhagavatam now. Where else can you get information like this? You cannot. So, should we learn from Prabhupada's example? Yes, we should learn. That's the right way for all grihastas to move to vanaprastha and then eventually to sannyas. So, there's no need to live a degraded life and subsist on the charity of those whom you tried to kill by arson and poisoning. You also insulted one of their wives and usurped their kingdom and wealth. So, Vidura is not mincing his words. He's speaking the truth, and he's not even trying to say it palatably. He's saying it respectfully, but not palatably, because these are hard words, harsh words. But he's only telling the truth, and he's telling the truth to his dearly beloved brother to help him at this crucial time of his life where he's, at any moment, he's going to die. He's very old, and therefore there's no need for him to be attached to the comfort of the home and being kept by people who he tried to kill, etc. So that is a despicable, degraded life. And one should take the Krishna consciousness and save themselves from such horrible conditions. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now we're going to say goodbye to our dear friend, Paramananda Das, the captain. He is going back to India today. We hope you get back to India safe and sound without getting coronavirus. And you offer our and my obeisances to your wife and children and all the devotees in Pune. Haribol. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Always chant Hare Krishna and be happy, and don't stay attached to family life. Yes.
So you talk about the second half. If there are people who like to go like to balance both the things, because they will say, if I'm in Grasta life, I need money, and then I have to do a job. And though Krishna provide everything, it depends on Krishna. But still, he has to do the activity. Krishna may be inspiring through his friends within. So he can do the job still in Krishna consciousness while depending on Krishna fully. Is it a full understanding, or is it like a half like he's doing?
Well, let's say you went somewhere, like you left Pune and you go to some village in your state, Maharashtra, right? You can go back to your hometown, Solapur. There's a temple in Solapur, right?
Yeah.
So you go to some place where there's not a temple, and you decide, I'm going to come here and preach, and I have complete faith in Krishna and Prabhupada and my Guru Dev, and I just depend on Krishna's mercy. Could you do that? Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you
But to come to that stage,
you could put your house in Pune for rent, and you have a house in Solapur, so you get two rents to help you in the interim period. And you go to this village and you just start preaching.
Yeah, means
It doesn't have to be a small village; it can be a middle-sized town. And you say, "I'm going to see if what Prabhupada said is true." What did he say? He said, "The pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. He need not be anxious, because when he removes the darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee." There you go.
pleasing him by loving devotional service is most important.
Yeah, samsiddhir haritoshanam. Right? Atak pumbir dvija srestas varnashrama vibhagasaha swanustitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. So that's the purpose of life, to please Lord Hari. So if you go to some village or some small town or some bigger town in Maharashtra, where there's no temple, you start a temple. And if there already is a temple, then you can start a school, right, to teach kids to be Krishna conscious. And if there's already a school, then you can start a Goshala, right, and protect cows, and also do Go Puja and teach people the importance of Gomata and living a simple life, growing your own food and having milk and depending completely on the mercy of Krishna, right? Or you can start a Food for Life program, right? Food truck in Maharashtra. Or so there's so many things you can do to preach Krishna consciousness, and just depending on the Lord. I know people that did that in Vrindavan. There's one devotee, he died now, but he decided to protect cows, and he built up a big organization, only on the basis of protecting cows. And he opened up a restaurant and so many things, because he had an idea that here's some area that's not being taken care of, so I'm going to take that area and develop it. So there's a million things you can do in preaching. Or you can just remain stuck and mired in attachment. So you think how old are you now?
48.
48. Well, okay. So the bell is ringing. Ding, ding, ding.
Thank you, Maharaj, for all your love and mercy. And at least with our humble oasis from my side, Mangala Aarti and Tulsi Gopi, we are going to remember all your loving, caring devotions like Father and Master Shiksha Guru.
Always remember, we want you and your family and everybody to go back to Godhead.
Thank you.
Haribol. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So you don't want to be a Dhritarashtra, right?